So maybe if we could take question 6 as
Mhm.
an example,
Yep.
why do you want to learn Taizang?
Yes.
And I used the ong a combination,
Yeah.
and
Um,
it should have been just na at the end.
mhm.
So I was saying um, the object is you in that question, and I
You see,
think the
okay,
subject is you.
this is the subject. The you here is the subject,
Yeah.
and
So
there is
I was
okay for
treating that as the object.
ah. So in terms of the grammar here, as we learn, the main verb here is want, and the object in this sentence is to learn. Teizang.
Hmm.
So the you,
As a
the
subject.
yeah, the noun the noun that comes before the verb is the subject, as we learn in English.
Hmm.
I don't know how. I don't know if you agree.
I think you know actually more than I do about English here.
Uh-huh.
It is
How could
something
that?
that we
How
don't,
could it be?
but it's something we don't consider.
Mhm.
No.
Um,
Yeah, something you take it for granted.
yeah.
Yeah, it is the subject in English.
Yep.
You're addressing the question to the person. Yeah.
Mhm. That's why.
Mm. Mhm.
Because we had to learn the English language based on the grammatical structure. But you see, in my language, I don't know what is the. You see, I didn't know what is the subject, what is the adverb, what is the adjective, what is the preposition, and what is the conjunction before I studied English. But after I studied English, then I came to understand
Yeah.
my language better,
And ours. Yeah.
which I didn't expect. So here, the you is the subject. Oh, sorry, the you is the subject. That's why if the subject is you, then the question in Teizang it ends with na.
Yep.
But if there is an object, I mean, when I say the object, I mean after the verb, the object is me, and then we put ong and verb na. But there is if the subject is you and there is no other pronouns like me, you do something to me, you to me. If the direction is not to me,
Mm.
then the question ends with na only. So let me write. Why do you um, I will say, why do you like me? Let's say. Then in this sentence here, you is the subject, but it is followed by the object me, and in this case we use ong, verb, and na.
Yep.
But here in why do you in the question why do you want to learn Teizang, there is no subject like me. Then
Mm.
it is not necessary to use ong.
Mm. I think the principle that you've described is clear. I understand it. The confusion is my understanding of English, and what is a subject and what's an object,
Mm.
Uh-huh.
and that's just
So
because we've not been taught to
yeah.
consider it the way you have.
No.
At
That
least
I
I
think that's
haven't.
the. Yeah.
I understand that. Like I told you before, I studied English. I didn't know the
Yeah.
structure of and the grammar of my language. No, I didn't know that. Just after studying English in a grammatical way, I just came to know
Yeah.
my
But looking
language.
at the 9 questions I got wrong, it's the same problem all the time.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm. Can I Can I ask you a question about when you said that if, now I don't know if I'm saying the subject and the object right, but when it's the subject coming to me.
Okay.
So you said, so when it shows the direction,
Yeah.
I thought you put an ong in there to show the direction of you're coming to me. Like, so in question 5, why are you standing here?
Okay.
I thought I needed an ong because the you was coming to me here.
Then it is possible. Steve, in your answer, I think I wrote possible.
On number 5, it was correct.
Yeah.
But I
what
did
did you
use
have for
on.
number?
Why are you standing here? Then you can say in 2 ways. Why is Aibang and the place hitak a standing ding you na. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then this is one possible thing, and then another one Aibang hitak a ong ding na.
Okay. I put the ong in, but I put it before the place.
Then ong is always put just before the verb, the verb. Then the verb comes between ong and na. And here in these 2 examples, like the literal meanings may be the same, but the situation is not exactly the same. You see, Aibang hitaka ding na means you're already standing at a certain place. Then I met you standing. Then I asked, why are you standing here? Okay, this is the first one. Aibang hitaka ding na. Before I met you, maybe you already started standing there. But in the second, Aibang hitaka ong ding na means I stand here myself. I'm standing here, and then you come later. You come and stand right close to me. Then you come to me. The direction is to me. In this sense, we can say "Ai bang hitaka ong ding na." Maybe you're standing at you're standing under a tree, and then somebody comes and stands beside you. Then you can say, "Why do you come?" Okay, why did you come and stand here like this? The direction is toward you. So in the second sentence, you already stand there before that person.
That's what I was thinking. So the ong in that situation, the ong would have been right, but I should have had it before the hita or
So you are the first person to stand, and then the listener comes the second one. So the direction is toward you. Then in this sense, it is okay. It's correct. Tony, what about you?
I had 2 questions, please.
Yes.
I was still struggling with where to put in, showing some action. So it was question 7 that really tripped me up. And I was working off your example in number 5, which had an in it. And I couldn't see any difference between 7 in the questions and 5 in the example. So you got, why did Anne buy a new computer? That was Anne in computer stack. But then we had sell your house. I saw that as being an action.
This one?
Yeah.
Right? This one, and the next one you said was, why did you
sell your house? Yeah.
Okay. So, in the first question, what you said is true. We put in before to show action, right? But in the second question, why you don't use in is because the subject is you.
Okay.
When the subject is you, and you don't need to use in. If the subject is other than you, then in is necessary. Like my father, kapa in. But if the subject you say is you don't need to say in. It
So
depends on the subject.
if the subject is I, do we have in?
No.
No, just a third person.
I, you, the pronouns.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. That will help me a lot. And
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
one more
Okay.
question, please.
Yeah.
At the top of the homework where you introduced why, and you had
Yep.
I bang, I hang, but then in brackets you had I banga, I hanga. What's the difference? When would you use that a on the end?
I bang, I hang,
Then you had I banga, I hanga.
I banga.
Yeah.
I hanga.
Yeah.
So, before I before I explain this, let me write 2 questions in English. Why is she crying? And so, what is the difference between these 2 questions? Why is she crying? And why is it that she's crying?
The second one says there's a specific reason for it. That's all I could see a difference here, perhaps.
And the first one doesn't have any reason.
Maybe not. Maybe a
Okay.
more general question.
Mm-hmm.
We would actually only say the first one.
But
We would never use.
But there are times when people say, "Why is it that she's crying?"
That not the same.
But the first one would mean that.
So
The second one would perhaps infer that all that you know about the situation would mean she shouldn't be crying. So the answer might be, I'm crying because I'm happy.
okay. And what about this one? So what is the difference between these two questions? What do you want, and what is it that you want?
Suppose it's emphasizing
Exactly.
something more specific in the
Yes.
answer.
To emphasize something more specific, we use these forms, right? So in the same way, we use I bang, I banga, I hanga to mean why in general, but it emphasizes some specific reason. And sometimes in a short, I mean, how do we say? Sometimes you don't need to ask a question like full sentence, like in short reply. You can use I banga, I hanga. For example, I tell something to you like, James is in a very bad mood. Then you can say why. Then I banga, I hanga.
Okay.
You can simply use this in a short reply, asking why. Why is it? Why is that? In a short response.
And when would you use bang as opposed to hang?
I banga. Then yes. You see, I bang can have two meanings. First, it can also ask the reason, the reason for something happening, and then second, ai banga, it emphasizes I would say, the things that happen. How it's like how did it happen? Ai banga, it asks the condition. For example, somebody has just had an accident, and then I come and see him, and then so how's he doing? Like it's like how's he doing? And ai banga, and what's happened? I can say ai banga.
My question was more about when do you use the B and when do you use the H?
So when I use I hanga, okay, when I use H, it asks simple reason. But when I use bang, it can have two meanings. It can ask a simple reason and it can ask the condition. Does that answer your question?
I'm not sure. Say it again.
When I say when I use H, okay, the H, then it asks only the reason of something. And then when I use ai banga, then it can ask the reason, and also it can ask the condition of something or someone. And sometimes in full sentence question, when you say ai banga, then it can mean a surprise.
Okay.
Let me say ai banga le, it shows a surprise. And then what it literally means is you're not sure about the situation, you're not sure about the thing that is happening right now. Then you say, oh, what's happening, what's wrong, what's going on? Then you can say ai banga le, it's very strange. You don't know the situation, and you don't know why, and you don't know how it is happening and why it is happening. Then you can just say ai banga le.
So when Steve shows up early for the lesson,
we won't be needing that then.
So speaking of this ai bang and ai hanga, when we put okay, ai banga, ai hanga, then the structure is different. Let me write, okay. Why is, let's say, why is Tom? Sorry. Why is Tom laughing? Why is Tom laughing? Then simply, I say, ai bang or ai bang, okay? Ai bang Tom Then if I say ai hanga Tom then here I suppose you notice this. Ai hanga Tom anui. Why is it that Tom is laughing? Then here we don't simply say the verb nui, but we put h. like a sudden thought of song. When something big falls to the ground, okay, it darts, right? Then like that we put HN, we stress, and the voice falls down suddenly. Nui. Nui is simply flying the song like butterfly. Nui. But nui is dashing down. Nui. And another example, because I haven't told you the form of this type of form. Why you crying? Then ai bang kap na is simply asking, why are you crying? Then ai hanga na ka. Okay. Yeah, the simple word for cry is KMB, kap. But when I use in this kind of sentence, this can become ka. Ai hanga na ka. Ai hanga na ka. And why is it that you are crying? The closest translation would be, why is it that you are crying? It shows it shows emphasis to a specific reason. And
Michael,
I haven't told you this before.
Okay, can you just go back to why is Tom laughing?
Mm-hmm.
I understand the third one, I hunga Tom anui, but what are the other two?
This
I
which one?
bang, I bang Tom nuia. That's
Yeah.
why is Tom laughing.
Then ai banga Tom nuya, ai banga ai hanga nuya, ai banga Tom nuya. Why is Tom laughing? Ai hanga Tom nuya. So this H should be at the end, okay? So ai hanga Tom nuya. Why is Tom laughing? The same. The first one and the second one, they are the same. But the third one,
what is it that Tom is laughing?
Why is it that Tom is laughing?
Yeah.
So this nui, we put H at the end of the verb.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
That's the form. The same with this one. Ai hanga naka.
Yeah.
Ka nui, like this. A sudden, how do we say it? a sudden stress, let's say. A sudden stress on the sound of the words.
Yeah.
This is the form. Okay. Any more questions?
Can I just double check?
Okay.
I realised that I got some of mine wrong, because although the words were right, I put the place word and the time word after the verb. Yeah. Is that a rule that the time and the place words have to go before the verbs? Is that the same in every sentence? Yeah. Every kind of sentence, yeah. Thank you.
Especially in question.
Yeah, okay. I did find it helpful, Michael, to have you put the comments at the bottom. That was really helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I still struggle on number 8. Why did you go to Yangon last month?
Yeah. Why did you go to?
Why did they?
Oh, they. Okay.
Go to Yangon last month. I understand the question word and the time word come first, but I still struggle. I put Yangon first.
Okay.
Like a proper noun.
Like a proper noun.
So why did they go to Yangon last month? Then, sorry, ai bang Nung sa. Oh, sorry. Nung sa. A. Yang gong. A. Bai a. Right. And you can say like this. Here, notice the difference. Here in the first, I use a and a. Nung sa a. This a is like a preposition for the time. Okay. Nung sa, last month. So this a is the preposition that follows the time word. Then here, yang gong a. A is the preposition of a place. Then your question is, you put Yangon.
Yeah, what?
Then, and what is it? What is it that you write? Ai bang Yangon a, right?
Yeah.
Nung sa. Can you repeat what you write?
What I put in mine, is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I put Yangon, the very first word. And then I put a bang, nung sa.
Yangon, ai bang, nung sa,
Bye.
bai,
Oh. That's what I put, yeah.
Okay. So, you see, in simple sentence, like the positives and the negative sentence, it is possible to put the place and the time. You can put the time word at first or the place word first. Never mind. But in question, here, ai bang is the question word, right? Then after the question word, the time and the place.
Yeah.
Then let me write one more. Nung sa ai bang yang gong a bai u a. This is also possible, but what you put yang gong, the place in question. Okay, we don't put the place word at first.
Okay.
But in simple sentence, like positive sentence, negative sentence, possible. But in general, it is more common to start with the question word. Then you arrange the time word and the place word as you like.
Thank you.
Michael, is it right that pi is both go and come?
Go
and come.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same.
The same. So you have to differentiate what it really means depending looking at the context and the situation. So like nung sa ai bang yang gong a bai u a, you can start with the time, okay, in question, but not with the place. And any more question? Phil?
No, I think I'm okay, Mark. I think on number 5, I just got the verb and the place word ran the wrong order, so I understand that. Number 10, I think I just sent it off to you before I'd finished. I think.
Yeah, exactly.
I just missed
and
out.
Celia, you did the same thing on number 10.
I did as well.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I left out I bang, which was crazy.
Yeah.
So I understand. Thanks, Michael. I'm okay on that.
That means you got one wrong this week, Phil.
No, I got 2 wrong, but
The first time ever.
That's the best I've ever.
Yes, one was just finishing. Okay, just ending before you finish, and the wrong order.
Yeah.
You see, sometimes the order of the language, like I taught you in our first lessons, sometimes it's very complicated. What I mean is, we don't have a very systematic rule like English. In English, you have a set of rules, like in question sentence, this thing comes first and this thing comes later. You have that rule. But in our language, as far as I'm concerned, we don't have such rule. So maybe I'm the one to make a rule. Because people speak as they like. The first aim or the first part, the main purpose is that you understand what I say. You understand what I mean. That's the main focus.
So when we're talking to people and we get it the wrong way around, they would get what we mean. Hopefully.
Yeah.
If they start giggling, you'll know the problem.
Remember that the Teizang people, we love laughing.
Yeah.
We love to laugh.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I suppose you might have noticed when you came to Myanmar.
Mm-hmm.
People smile and laugh all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you speak to them and when you meet them. Even though they didn't know what to say, they just smiled at you and they laughed at you.
Well, that's really nice.
Yeah. It's our way of it's a kind of hospitality.
Yeah, that's good. That's why we love it.
Our friendliness.
Yeah.
So in terms of you see, let me show you the complication we have in our language, especially the structure of the sentence. Like why? Okay. So in English, why are sorry. What are you? Let's say, why are you in a hurry? Then the simple one, ai bang man la na, or you can say man mo na. Ai hang a mo na. Ai hang a naman mo. Sorry.
I'm in a hurry because you've got so many different ways of saying the same thing.
Oh.
Oh.
Well,
But you see, I just told you the most formal ones. So see, from number 4 to number 9, informal. It sounds sometimes it sounds funny. In a very friendly situation, you can say from 4 to 7. And sometimes, if the situation is not right, it may sound like you are impatient.
Those same ones, 4 to 7?
Yep.
So they're friendly, but in some situations they could sound a bit sharp.
Yeah. And you might sound impatient.
Oh yeah.
And a bit I would say a bit irritating for some people. The tone is not very friendly sometimes, depending on the situation and the people you talk to and the relationship you have with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see, in English, let me give you a similar example. When somebody is reading, and then you can say, "What are you reading?" Simply you ask, "Okay, what are you reading?" Then sometimes you say, "What's so interesting?" Is it a way of asking what are you reading? What's so interesting?
Yeah, we would use that.
Yeah. What's so interesting? Then when somebody is going and walking in a hurry, then you can simply say, "Why are you in such a hurry? Why are you in such a rush?" And jokingly, or I don't know how it might sound, you can say, "Where is the fire?"
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Yeah.
The number 4 to number 8. Ayala naman mo. Then it shows a surprise or impatience. Why do you have to? Why do you have to be in such a hurry? Like this, number 4, the direct translation. Why do you have to? Why do you have to be in such a hurry? Then, and what do I sound? When I say why do you have to be in such a hurry? Then how do you feel?
Disapproving, isn't it, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ayala naman mo.
It's almost saying slow down, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Slow down. Slow down. Take it easy.
Yeah.
But you can say that sometimes jokingly or disapproving. It can show you disapprove of their being in a rush, or it can sound like a joke. So, Ivan Mobina.
No.
Okay. It depends on your voice, your tone. If you say it in a loud and high voice, it shows that you are a bit angry, or you disapprove, or you are a bit impatient. It's like somebody is rushing you. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I always say hurry up, and then in the end, you become impatient. And then you say, I'm in Mobina. Why is it that you are such in a hurry? So, then number 6 and number 7, manmo sitia or manmo samde, they can be like commenting people who are in a hurry. Oh, you are such in a hurry. You are in such a hurry. Let's say, oh, you're in such a hurry. What's going on? Like that. It can mean. show a surprise or like commenting, like jokingly. Not really want to know the reason. Just want to say, just want to like, just want to make a joke or
just comment on it.
slowing you down. Just want to slow you down.
Mm.
Why are you in such a rush? It's simply asking the reason. But in this number 6 and 7, this question, the question don't want to know your reason.
Yeah.
They just want to slow you down. They just want to calm you down. And the number 8, it sounds like, I'm surprised. I'm surprised you are in such a hurry. It's like scolding or slowing down people who are in a hurry, in such a hurry. So I don't know how to explain them in a better way, but we use them daily. If I say this to my brother and my family members, then it sounds natural. But if I say this to a stranger, then they might get angry.
I think I would feel safer just using number 1.
Yeah, that's why I selected the safe ones.
Yeah.
The safer ones.
And if I want to be more specific, I would use number 3.
Yeah. But from 4 to 8, if people say this from 4 to 8 with a smile on their face, then it shows friendliness. Very strange, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine using 6 and 7 in the supermarket when someone's trying to push past me to get to some fruit or something.
Oh yeah, exactly. The right situation.
Or thinking it, even if you didn't say it.
Yeah.
You see, I know, for example, I know you very well, and then you're rushing to then in the middle of your journey, I say, "Man mo sitia." Then what's the rush? What's the rush? You can say to someone you know very well personally, or else it can sound like it can sound a bit rude to strangers.
I think we have the equivalent, as you said, we have the equivalent of these in English, of saying something in a joking way, but if it's said in the wrong tone of voice, it could be an insult.
Exactly.
That's why you can't really write them in emails, because you can't get the tone of the voice and the face.
Yeah.
It's not email language.
Wow. Yeah.
Less haste, more speed.
Okay.
Why people put smileys into emails, isn't it, nowadays, to try to get a tone across?
Yeah, with the sticker.
Yeah.
Exactly, because emojis, emotion, you can't express it.
Emojis, yes.
Mm.
But without emojis, it's very hard to know whether they are friendly or not.
Yeah.
Mm.
But sometimes you can tell them looking at the words choice, the words they use. Okay. So you see, we have many alternatives to say something, but I choose the most common and the most suitable ones for every situation.
Mm.
That's why.
Yeah.
But when you come to Moonlight and speak to your church member, you might hear something different than what I told you. but they're still okay. You see, let me give you a different example, another example. What are you doing? What are you doing? So this is simply asking, okay? I na, I na. What are you doing? And ayana hi, ayana hi, ahi na, ayana hi. Then when you want to show you are surprised and you are a bit impatient, you use the you use the verb twice in this form.
I think
Ayana hi.
I think I heard Steve use this up at Strong Brain.
Ayana hi. What are you doing here?
Rude person.
No,
You'd
not
be able to
rude.
say it properly next time, yeah.
Maybe you are surprised.
Ayana.
Then it doesn't sound rude anymore. It sounds funny.
Ayana.
For example, you see, what are you? Sorry. What are you looking? Then the simple question would be, I and na. Okay, and the other one, aya na it, aya na it. But if you are surprised or a bit impatient, aya na double verb, aya na it. Okay. Then this shows you are surprised or you are a bit impatient. But when you use this double word, remember the last letter drops out.
Oh.
Here,
Okay.
ayana hihi. But literally, you write like this. But when you say, drop the last letter. Ayana it. For example, another one. What are you saying? Then, simple question. I soy na. Another one. Aya na soy. Then, when you become a bit impatient or surprised, aya na soy. But you write like this. But when you say, drop the sound of the last letter. Aya na soy. So you are a bit impatient with the repetition of what somebody's doing. You are fed up with what he's doing repeatedly. That's why we repeat the verb. What are you writing? Sorry. It's very simple. Then I add na or aya na add. Okay? And when you are surprised or when you are a bit impatient, aya na add. Then when you say it, drop the sound of the last letter. Aya na add. Because you are writing repeatedly. And I'm a bit fed up with your repetition of writing. Then I repeat the word, the verb. Ayana aat. Something you are doing continuously. I'm a bit fed up with, okay, the continuous action. Tony, have I got you to nowhere?
I think you've made us really thinking that we have to concentrate so hard when people are speaking to have a clue, because that would throw me.
You see, they are informal.
It's so quick.
Yeah. Ayana aat. Ayana aat. But for us, it's not quick. So, like when you speak English, then for us, you speak very fast. For a lot of us, okay, you connect the sound, so very too fast to understand for many people, many non-native English people. But for you, natural. The same is true with Teizang. Because you think I'm saying it very quickly, but for me it's not quick. Okay, this is a different lesson.
Can we go back? Sorry, just
Okay. Yeah.
I was just about that. What are you looking at? Where you changed N to et?
Yes.
I didn't know that word.
What are you looking at? Let's say in English. Then in simple question, I and na. So you understand this, right?
That was easy, yeah.
And aya na et here. This is.
Yeah, that was the confusion.
So the structure is like what is it that you are looking at in the situation when you say like this, when you say this, what is it that you are looking at? Then in Teizang we use this form, like the N would be et. N is the full sound, but we cut in the middle. Et. For example, eat is ne, but we cut in the middle. Ne. So, what are you eating? Then the simple question, I, ne, na, right? You know this. I, ne, na, what are you eating? But in this form, I, na, then ne become ne. I don't know. It's like in English, it's like a close. See, the thing you are eating, yeah, like this. What is the thing you are eating? Yeah, the translation would be ayana ne, but it is just one word. Okay, sorry. But what it really means is like this: the thing you are eating. Ne is the verb eat. Nek is like the noun close. Then the thing you're eating. Here, N is look, and ayana et. Et is the thing you are looking at. It's like a noun form, a noun close. Close, they say. So in terms of you see, in relation to this, I will tell you. Bia is in English give. Then biak is the thing you give, like a noun clause. Okay. En is a simple verb, look, but et is the thing you look. Okay.
That's great, thank you.
Zong is such, but zon, the thing you such, like this. But when do we use this form, like the thing you give, the thing you look, the thing you such? The form is similar to English, like this form. What is it that you are eating? What is it that you're eating? When you say in English like this, in Teizang we use this form. Then it becomes Aya nanek. Simply you can say I ne na. Okay. This is the simple question. What are you eating? This I ne na is what is it that you are eating? So when you say something in this form, use this noun clause. Bia give would be biak, the thing you give. And look becomes at, the thing you look. Zong such becomes zon, the thing you such. But I save you see, I save this type of lesson for later session.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's good.
Not now, because it might get you confused.
Gets me worried.
Yeah. Yeah.
That explains N and et, though. So I get it.
Okay. And okay, Steve, do you have any question? More question?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Rhoda, what about you?
No, not right now. I was wondering about what Tony asked, but then I thought I'd leave it because I might not take it in. But I'm glad you said it now. Thank you. I'm still not sure it's gone in though.
Okay. Tony, what about you?
Oh, that's good. Thank you. Very helpful.
You see, sometimes